Nope.
Perfect.
in Crystal David's club. Yeah.
Okay. Please be upstanding for the Chairman of the Council, Councillor Chris Dawn, and the Vice Chair, Councillor Stuart Bailey.
Please be seated. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to Hert's annual general meeting of the council. Before we start, the chairman the lead officer, will confirm the fire evacuation procedures.
Chairman, you're pleased to know we're not anticipating a test run for tonight. So the alarm does actually go off. It's the real thing. Can you leave following the emergency exit signs, the green signs? Can you use the stairs? Do not use the lift. If you've got any issues about disability, please let me know. But when you get to the bottom of the stairs, right to the ground floor, leave by the emergency exit next door. And can you congregate on the views, please? Please do not wander off from the views until I've accounted for you, and don't come back in the building afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And to remind you that, of course, this meeting is being recorded, and by staying here, you thereby give your consent to that recording. So there are various bits to sort of cover at the start. First of all, I'd like to welcome Councillor Beattie, as in Haiti. I remember to correct the pronunciation. And Councillor Hardy, welcome as new councillors. And those councillors have been re-elected. Obviously, welcome back for another 2 years of fun. The first item on the agenda is the election of the chairman, and in terms of doing this, they said I can have a few words at the beginning before I ask for nominations. And I think the first thing I'd like to do is to thank all of you so much for giving me this opportunity to be chairman and for voting that through. It really has been quite a stunning year, and as those of you who provided me some very useful advice before I started my year, thank you, it has absolutely flown by. There have been so many interesting and wonderful events that I've attended. What you do start to realise very quickly is what we refer to as the chain gang. The other mayors and chairs from across Hampshire are universally an absolutely lovely bunch, and every other chair I've spoken to has said that their year was a wonderful year and a wonderful group of people, because at the end of the day we are all there to try and serve our communities and do the best that we can. Very pleased that my charities have done very well out of this. Mustard Seed Autism in Odium and the Service Dogs UK. It's about £4,600 each, a little bit more than the little cheques I went to present them yesterday and on Tuesday. But I did have a wonderful time, particularly yesterday. Get down at Service Dogs UK, they were doing training at Petworth, and I met lots of very nice dogs, some very boisterous and still doing a lot of learning, but a lot of very interesting veterans, several of which are suffering from quite advanced PTSD symptoms, and they find their service dogs there incredibly calming and supportive. So I think we've done a great thing there. I'd like to thank the officers for supporting me in community services, and Sally particularly for looking after me and directing me to the right place at the right time in the right clothes, which is very important in this role. I think probably the highlight for me was the Royal Garden Party, and that is something that is normally invited to all chairmen, and it is really quite a unique experience. What I would say is that I would encourage people to think about using the chairman a little bit more. I've certainly been out to quite a lot of events in the community, probably about, I think, as many chairs previously, but it would be good if you can task the new chairman a little bit more strongly to come to your particular events, to give it that little bit of magic or whatever else you want to call it, and make sure that people realise that we are here as councillors, we are part of our community. And what I find is that sticking this on and wandering around, people do look at you and go, oh, that's one of our councillors. And that really engages them, and I think that's very important. Lastly, I hope I've been able to present a positive view of Hert into Hampshire and beyond, and certainly the feedback from my Civic Day was incredibly positive, and likewise I've enjoyed the most amazing experiences at other people's Civic Days. So I will pause there and we will move on to electing a new chairman. So if I can ask for a nomination, please, or nominations for chairman. Councillor Crampton.
Thank you, Chairman. I would like to nominate Councillor Stuart Bailey for the position of chair.
Thank you very much. Councillor Redley.
I would like to second that motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Are there any other proposals? Not. In which case, can we have a show of hands? All those in favour? Any against? And no abstentions. Lovely. In which case, I will declare Councillor Bailey the new chairman. Yes, thank you. I shall.
Thank you very much. I'll swap seats.
Write it nice. I'll hold it nicely.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you to everybody for your support. Before we move on to the next item on the agenda, I would like, as my first act as chairman, to formally propose a vote of thanks to Councillor Dawn for his last year as chairman, or the year that you've just served. For myself, as his vice chair, I guess how many times you are asked to stand in for the chairman gives you a sense of how conscientious and hardworking the chairman has been. And it was only on a very few occasions I was asked to stand in. I know you've taken your responsibilities extremely conscientiously. And in this chamber, you've always chaired the meeting with complete fairness and transparency. So I'm very sure that you're going to be a very hard act to follow. Before we go to that vote of thanks, I'd give an opportunity for any other members who may wish to make a few comments. Councillor Crampton.
Thank you, Chair. This has served Hart with real dedication and good humour and a strong sense of community throughout his year as chairman. He's represented the district with dignity and enthusiasm and has always been approachable and quite generous with his time. And he must have driven miles. I'd like to thank Chris for his commitment and service during this term. He's been an excellent ambassador for Hart and a steadfast supporter of local residents, charities and community groups.
Thank you. Councillor Neighbour.
Thank you, Chair. Echo the comments that have been made by both yourself and Councillor Crampton. A couple of things to add. I really want to double down on that impartiality. You've been excellent. Yourself and I have crossed swords over the years, and I was mildly nervous and apprehensive. That was on me, not you. I should have known better. But what I wanted to say was, I really appreciate one of the charities you chose. I think I must say they're a fantastic charity. Autism is something that is emerging more and more in our communities, and it can be very disruptive, and parental support is so important. So thank you for that.
Okay. Councillor Forster.
Thank you, Chair, and may I be the first to actually congratulate you on your new position.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say, in terms of Councillor Dawn, the feedback in particular from veterans and the current serving military has been phenomenal on the work that Councillor Dawn has done, but also from many of our young people across Hart. So on their behalf, thank you for your service.
Thank you. But can I formally move from the chair then a vote of thanks, and we can initially show our appreciation by actually voting, so we can record it in the minutes, and then perhaps do it in the more formal way of a round of applause. So those in favour of a vote of thanks, well, that is more than unanimous. Thank you and well done. So we gave Daryl a little bit of a heart attack when 20 minutes ago I said we have got some past chairman's medals left, haven't we? And we have. So I assume this box has got a pass. There it is. It's in there. So I'll hand that over to you as a memento
Thank
for
you
the
very
year that
much,
you
Steve.
served. Thank you.
And thank you all. Right, I will slide back out.
Okay, thank you. Item 2 on our agenda is the election of vice chair. So I would ask for any nominations for vice chairman. Councillor Neighbour.
Thank you. I'd like to nominate Councillor Jill Butler.
And do we have a seconder? Councillor Crampton, thank you. Do we have?
I would like to second Jill Butler for the vice chair.
Thank you. Do we have any other nominations? Okay, can I ask for a vote then? For all those in favour, Councillor Butler, that's unanimous. Congratulations. Would you like to come and join us up here? Yeah.
The chair.
You get a little badge as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move on to item 3 on the agenda, which is the minutes of our last meeting, which was held on the 30th of April. Can I ask for a proposer, the accuracy of the minutes? Councillor Dawn, and the seconder, Councillor Farmer. Okay, thank you. Can we vote on that? Is everybody in favour of the minutes as an accurate record? Thank you. Right, are there any matters arising? Yes, Councillor Makepeace-Brown.
I think I'm missing off the attendance list.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, so am I.
Anybody else who was here who's not showing on the minutes? Okay, we'll make those alterations. Well, it's my first error of the evening because we should have made those amendments before we made the changes, but you haven't got a copy of the minutes.
You're on there.
You're on. Okay. You're missing as well. But you were there.
I think there's quite a few people missing because there's only 16 noted.
And you're missing as well. Can people just give a show of hands if you were at the meeting last time? Oh, we got Titlers here. Okay. Yeah.
Hi.
Okay. Okay, we'll make amendments to the minutes and we'll double check that against the video, so that's fine. Okay, item 4, do we have any? I'll sign the minutes. Thank you. Oh, okay. Okay. Any apologies for absence?
Chair, we've received no apologies this evening.
Any other apologies that people are aware of? No, thank you. Does any member have any declaration of interest of either a pecuniary or any other interest that they wish to declare? Super, good. Okay, we move on to chairman's announcements. Very grateful for your support in electing me as chairman. The charity or charities that I will be supporting this year will all have the theme of food hunger. It's something that is increasingly becoming an issue across the district, and I know that there are food banks and community larders and pantries that are in operation in quite a few locations across the district, some run by the Trussell Trust and some run by FareShare. And I think there are a couple of local charities as well. So that will be the focus of my charities this year. And I hope not only will we be able to ask the various charities to come in and give a presentation of the work that we do, but there will be an opportunity for any member to actually get involved, perhaps over Christmas. We can have an afternoon helping at one of the food banks for those who are interested. We move on to item 7, which is the Chief Executive's announcements.
Thank you, Chairman. This is part of the returning officer's report as it goes. I am conscious that modern.gov appears to be having not a bad day at the moment, so apologises for the attendance bit. We're going to run it again to see whether the system is doing something strange. It also has done something on the outcome of the elections, and Councillor Makepeace-Brown has highlighted a couple of bits on that one. So that's a fair comment. We'll come back to you on why that's happened. In terms of the election, I have to say the feedback we got is very positive. It went very well. I have to congratulate all the candidates, agents, and everyone else who suffered that the Thursday evening on the count itself. The whole election on its own right went very well. From our perspective, we delivered it. We delivered actually for those who stayed till 2 or 3 in the morning. We actually delivered faster than most of the councils in the country. And in particular, we did the district count and the county council count in one go. And I got a phone call from the county, a bit surprised when we started telling them we'd done their count as well, when they'd only just got one other result from the New Forest. So we were quite pleased that we did that for them and got it through. Bit of confusion for other authorities getting it through. But overall, I could just say thank you to everybody who participated at the election, whether it be the staff, whether it be the candidates, whether it be the agents and anybody else who was there. It was a good evening from all of our perspective, and the courtesy you showed the staff on the evening was greatly received as well, because it is a long day for staff. Some have been there since 6 o'clock, and on the count, the whole new batch of people came in. So it's a bit sad that it was the last part election as it goes. The next election is a bigger election for the North Hampshire Unitary Authority Council as it comes forward. That's preparation work has already started on that, you'll be pleased to know. But that's a matter now coordinated with our colleagues in Basingstoke and in Rushmore at the same time. I understand that I've been asked to be the returning officer for the whole lot, and it goes its own way. Good fun that is. I wish perhaps someone else might have volunteered, but I'll be there for that. So yeah, the election team themselves, as you know, there's only 3 of them in the team. They did what they were asked to do, and they did it quickly. And as I said, they did a good job. So you got the results. I don't need to repeat them to you all, but well done for all of you for your support in getting it through. And the result was as it was. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we move on to the Leader of Council, who will confirm the composition of his cabinet for the coming year.
Thank you, Chair. First, I'd like to echo the comment that the Chief Exec made about the all the staff that made the elections work. It's a lot of council staff do it as well as members of our community. It's always fantastic to see them pulled together, so I'd like to thank them as well. There are no changes to the cabinet this year. We will have the same 8 familiar faces that we had last year, so nothing changes.
Thank you. Okay, now we move to the composition of our committees and also the election of the committee chairs. I'm very grateful for the various group leaders who have collectively provided the names of their proposed their membership on each of the committees, which are in the papers. I just want to look at the 3 committee chairmen and check whether there's any amendments to that. Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay.
Well, there is one for the
Okay.
government reorganisation.
Okay. I'm just looking at the leader to see if he's aware of that change.
I'm aware that the nomination came in late. I I think 3 people are going for 2 posts, and we should have a debate about that. So I think it's important that we do, and we should vote accordingly. But I'd like to talk to it, if I may,
Okay.
when it's appropriate.
What I propose that we do then is that we put the membership of the local government review, I assume that that's this joint committee,
Yes.
that we put that to one side, and we come back to that in a moment, and take all the other committees first. So are people, are members comfortable to agree the membership of the committees as listed? We can say, apart from the local government review, you can all say agreed, or we can have a vote. Agreed, thank you. Okay, now we have the fun bit. I don't know if this is unique to Hart, but the way in which we elect the chairman of each of the committees is by the members of those committees. So what we do is we ask the members of each of those committees to stand, and then we will ask those committees to nominate a chairman of the committee, look for a seconder, and those committees will then vote for the chairman at this meeting. The vice chairs will be determined at the first meeting that committee meets during the municipal year. So if I could ask all the members of the audit committee, as listed on your papers, if they could stand.
I'm missing.
I can see 6 stood and 7.
There we go.
Okay. Can I ask for any nominations as chairman of the audit committee? Yes, Councillor Drake.
I would like to nominate Councillor Taylor.
Are you prepared to accept the nomination? Yes. Any seconder? Thank you, Councillor Brown.
I'd like to second the nomination of Councillor Taylor.
Thank you. Any other nominations? Okay, all those in favour? It's carried by the committee unanimously. Thank you. Okay, the Crime and Disorder Joint Scrutiny Committee. This point I will have to stand as well, apparently. Oh, we just need a chairman, does it, that one? No, because we just go off and, yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Development Management Committee. So 11 members. 11, fantastic. Okay, any nominations for chairman? Councillor Forster.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Southern as chairman.
We have a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Dawn. Any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Oliver.
And I'd like to second.
Thank you. Okay, so you can only vote once, and I will do the votes in alphabetical order. Councillor Oliver first. Those in favour of Councillor Oliver as chairman? And those in favour of Councillor Sutton? So only members of the committee that can vote. You're just adding in, that's fine. Okay. So Councillor Oliver is elected as chairman of that committee. Licensing committee. Should be half stood. Can I ask for any nominations as chairman? Yeah, Councillor Farmer.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Dawn, please.
Councillor Dawn. Any seconder, Councillor Dawn? Thank you, Councillor Southern. Any other nominations for the licensing committee?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Drage.
Okay.
Can I second that, please?
Yeah. Any other nominations? Okay, so we'll do it in alphabetical order again. So those in favour of Councillor Drage, and those in favour of Councillor Sutton.
Sorry.
Dawn, sorry, I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Sorry, I put it the wrong way around. Councillor Drage, you You're elected. Thank you. We move to the Overview and Scrutiny Committee. Now, the chairman of this committee, under our constitution, cannot be a member of the party that or the group that forms the administration. So can I ask all the members of the Overview and Scrutiny to stand and ask for any nominations? Councillor Forster.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Farmer as chairman.
Okay. We have a seconder to that. Thank you.
I'd like to second that, please.
Thank you.
Councillor Palmer.
Any other nominations? You are elected. Congratulations. Thank you. Staffing and Appeals Committee. Now, under the Constitution, the leaders of each group are also members of this, along with the members. So if you'd like to stand. And I ask for nominations. Councillor Neighbour.
I'd like to propose Councillor Makepeace Brown, please.
Yeah. And thank you. Any other nominations? Okay, congratulations. You're the new chairman. Sorry? No, yeah. And the Standards Committee, as it has independent members as well, will determine its own chairman at its first meeting. Okay, so if we move back to the Local Government Reorganisation Committee, or representatives for the joint committee. On the paper, we've got Councillor Crampton and Councillor Neighbour, but this evening we've also a nomination yourself as well, Councillor Radley. Okay. Yeah. So I ask for nomination. There isn't a chairman to this, is it? It's just membership of the committee. Okay. Sorry?
Vote for 2 out of 3.
We're going to have to vote for 2 out of 3. And Councillor Neighbour, you said you wanted to speak to it.
Yeah. Obviously, we all understand how important this committee is going to be running up to the election of the shadow next year. Speaking with the other district councillors in Northern Hampshire, our preference is that it should be the leaders and deputy leaders of the councils. However, I fully accept that we have 3 major parties represented in this body, but 3 into 2 does not go. So prior to a vote, I am going to suggest that if someone is unsuccessful, they be the collective substitute for the other 2 members, so that they will receive all the papers and will effectively be part, but at a distance, unless 2 successful candidates get through. Because I think it's really important that all 3 groups feel part of the process. It's really important to heart forward if we hand over.
So I'm just going to take advice from the Chief Executive as the best way of determining this through a vote, because it's 2 out of 3, isn't it?
Stevie.
Okay, you have to vote for 2 members, but you can also agree the third one is a substitute. There's no rules. The joint committee hasn't actually got any terms of reference at the moment, so that will be a legitimate way to do it. So I'll leave it, but you do have to nominate your 2 primary members, okay, to go on there, but then have a further vote about the decision to put another member on, if that's possible.
Right, I'm looking at the 3 members that are on the, which is the 3 group members actually, and seeing if either of them would prefer to be a substitute. Yeah, so we will move to a vote. You can vote for 2 candidates. I don't know how we're going to police this. Yeah. Okay, so we'll do it as a recorded vote. And if when you vote, if you could give the names of your 2 candidates, that would be quicker. Wouldn't it?
Big pardon.
Alphabetical. Right, I'm going to go through the list alphabetically. Councillor.
Just when you go through it, ask them to read out the councillor they want. So the first one is whoever goes first. That's one to absolutely.
Okay, so as we go round, as in a recorded vote, you have 2 votes, and you can vote for Councillor Crampton, Councillor Radley, or Councillor Neighbour, and you also may abstain if you wish. Oh, you want to do it as 2 separate votes? Okay, I beg your pardon. We're going to do 2 votes, then we're going to go round once and then round twice. Okay.
No, you can do it.
Are we ready?
Okay.
Councillor Axon.
Yes, Councillor.
I've heard about 3 different versions of how we're going to vote. Could you just clarify so we know?
Yeah, the Chief Executive will clarify.
Caught a bit on the hop on this one. I wasn't expecting 3. So what we're suggesting is the recorded vote. The first time round, the first one is for the first nomination. Yeah, just read out which of the councillor you want as your first nomination the first time round. That will get 1 person in the committee. We'll then proceed to do that with the second committee, the second person for the committee.
No, that's Well, that's
the only way you can do it.
No, it's not. That will do. We can do it, but we'll do chaotic. It won't.
Councillor Makepeace-Brown, have you got an idea?
Can I suggest there's 3 permutations, aren't there? So what I would suggest is you read out the permutation and show hands who's going to vote for that. Yeah, well, it's the same as saying 1 person, 2 person, 3. It's just in couples.
Yeah.
And then they can say who the substitute is.
Councillor Neighbour, and then I shall make a decision.
I think maybe the chair of council might like to invite the electoral reform body to a meeting of this council just to all tell us about the different methods we can vote, because I personally find it fascinating and I know my group don't. Can I suggest we all have 2 votes? We are called out alphabetically 1 at a time, and that person gives the 2 of the 3 names that they were.
Yeah, I think that's where we were initially.
Then no one has to remember who they voted for the first time. No one has to work out who's been knocked out.
Sorry? Yeah. If you read the names out at the speed that you want to do it.
Can you say both names?
Two sheets. First name they say, I will write down the second.
Okay. And will somebody read out the...
Yeah.
Councillor Axon.
The suspense is killing everyone. Can I nominate Councillor Radley and Councillor Neighbour?
Councillor Bailey.
Abstain.
Councillor Beattie.
Can I nominate Councillor Neighbour and Councillor Radley?
Councillor Brown.
Can I nominate Councillor Neighbour and Councillor Radley?
Councillor Butler.
Councillor Radley and Councillor Neighbour.
Councillor Clark.
Councillor Neighbour and Councillor Radley.
Councillor Coburn.
Councillor Crampton and a Councillor Neighbour.
Councillor Cockerell.
Councillors Neighbour and Radley.
Councillor Collins,
Councillors Radley and Neighbour.
Councillor Crampton,
Councillors Crampton and Neighbour.
Councillor Davies,
Councillors Radley and Neighbour.
Councillor Delaney,
Councillors Radley and Neighbour.
Councillor Dawn,
Crampton and Neighbour.
Councillor Drage,
Councillors Neighbour and Radley.
Councillor Farmer,
Councillor Crampton and Councillor Neighbour.
Councillor Forster,
I'll give this a try. Councillor Crampton and Councillor Crampton. Councillor Crampton and Councillor Neighbour.
Councillor Hale,
Councillor Crampton and Councillor Neighbour.
Councillor Hardy,
I'd like Councillor Neighbour and Councillor Radley.
Councillor Hiley,
Councillor Crampton and Councillor Neighbour.
Councillor Jones,
Councillor Radley and Councillor Neighbour.
Councillor Kepper,
Councillor Radley and Councillor Neighbour.
Councillor Makepeace Brown,
Councillors Radley and Neighbour.
Councillor Neighbour,
Councillors Neighbour and Radley, please.
Councillor Oliver,
Councillors Neighbour and no, Radley.
Councillor Quarterman,
Councillors Neighbour and Councillor Radley.
Councillor Radley,
Councillor Neighbour, Councillor Radley. Thank you.
Councillor Smith,
Councillors Neighbour and Radley.
Councillor Southern,
Crampton and Neighbour.
Councillor Taylor,
Councillors Neighbour and Radley.
Councillor Thomas,
Councillor Radley and Councillor Neighbour.
and Councillor Wildsmith.
Councillors Neighbour and Councillor Radley.
They've got 33 votes. Close, James. There's no jeopardy.
Thank you. So the votes were 8 votes for Councillor Crampton, 22 votes for Councillor Radley, and 30 votes for Councillor Neighbour. So Councillor Radley and Councillor Neighbour will be our 2 representatives on the joint committee. There's a suggestion that we also appoint a substitute. I'd like to move from the chair that our substitute would be Councillor Crampton. Any seconder for that? Everybody, good. But those in favour by show of hands. Okay, so Councillor Crampton will be the substitute to that committee. Thank you. We move on to item 11 on our agenda, and it's lovely to see former Councillor Warlock back with us after a space of only 1 meeting. So it's great for you to be here. Councillor Warlock did an amazing job chairing scrutiny last year, and part of our annual meeting is to have a report of scrutiny. And I'll hand over to you to present that report.
So good evening, members. I'd like to thank the Chairman, Councillor Bailey, for permitting for me to come and present the annual report, or rather the review of the work of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee for the year 25-26. And this report has come before Obviously, the committee at its last meeting, and they have endorsed the recommendations of the report. I always think the important thing, I won't keep you long, by the way, but I always think the important thing is not necessarily the review, but what is in here in respect of proposals that the Overview and Scrutiny Committee might look at for the coming year. I'm also delighted to see that new members to the council are going on Overview and Scrutiny, because I think, as we all know, that is one of the best committees to go on to get a feel of how everything works. So the key points that are highlighted for future work, there are 5 of them, and I think they are very essential for not just the coming year, but also the succeeding year. And that's the local plan preparation, local government reorganisation, corporate performance and financial resilience, which I know that the new chairman of Overview and Scrutiny will look at with great interest. And subject dear to my heart, service panels. I'm pleased to see that Councillor Forster is a member of Overview and Scrutiny this coming year, because he, I hope, will attend all of them and not just one. And also partnership and multi-agency working, which of course dovetails with local government reorganisation and will be very important going forward. And overarching, it's not one of the 5 points, but it appears as the last paragraph, and that's the effectiveness of scrutiny and work programming. And that really is an overarching thing going forward. And I hope that the new committee has as much fun and is as concentrated and drills down into the detail as we did. And new chair, please don't forget about the task and finish groups, because I think they are a wonderful addition, and a lot was achieved, particularly, for example, on fly tipping. And on that upbeat and that happy note, I shall leave you to it and bid you a fond farewell and good luck for the coming municipal year. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Grateful to Jane for 2 reasons. One, for taking the time out to come this evening. But secondly, as I was her vice chair on scrutiny last year, it would have probably fallen to me give the report, and I wouldn't have been able to match your eloquence. So thank you very much for coming back. And can we agree as members that we would encourage the Overview and Scrutiny Committee to carry out the recommendations that you've suggested as in terms of how that committee continues to work in the coming year? Okay, item 11 is the date of our next meeting, which is on the 30th of July 2026. Before I declare the meeting closed, the Chief Executive was very keen to remind me that tradition in Hart is that the new chairman treats everybody to a drink after the annual general meeting of the council. So if people want to join me in the offer, I'd be very pleased to buy you a drink. And I declare the meeting closed.